Hey, this video is the Pisces Child. So I already did Virgo and Scorpio Child, so check that out if you haven't seen it. Okay, so this is for anyone who's just curious. Maybe you just want to think about like how you were as a child, if you're a parent, if you are a teacher, you're some type of caregiver, or you know, mentor to children, just like how astrology can affect a child. And so obviously children are not fully developed. However, you will see traits of their sign pretty early on. Okay, so Pisces child. So a lot of these children, and I know from experience, from just teaching Pisces children, also my brother is a Pisces, and so a lot of them have a really vivid imagination. Or anyone really who has 12th house placements, even if they're not a Pisces, any Pisces energy, but definitely 12th house placements and Pisces have really vivid imaginations. And so these are the type of children that are more prone to have imaginary friends. Okay, a lot of them are just simply more connected with the spiritual world. That Pisces is ruled by Neptune, which deals with dreams, it deals with illusions, it deals with deeper, concepts, okay, and psychic abilities and things of that nature, okay. Pisces, so a lot of Pisces children kind of have like an old soul about them. Like there's a wisdom that sometimes they have as children that you're just like, why does that child know that? Pisces children also can be very sensitive. And so that sensitivity can come out as being seeming shy or seeming reserved. But it's also because they're just sensitive to a lot of the things around them. They can be very perceptive about things and not really sure how to express those things. And so they can lack a lot of feelings inside. Pisces can come across as agreeable, but you just want to watch that because anyone who's too agreeable is holding a lot inside. Pisces children like to do things in their own way. And so following structure can sometimes be hard for them because a lot of them have very vivid imaginations. They like to create. And so create their own reality, whether that's, a lot of them draw or write, or they just do things that are, about their own, their feelings, how they are perceiving things. So they're mutable. And so being a mutable sign, Pisces children don't tend to be troublemakers because unless it comes with like not listening and following directions because they're trying to do their own thing, they don't tend to be troublemakers because they're mutable. So they do know how to blend in, but sometimes they're not giving their all, but they're not giving their all because they like to create their own world. And so sometimes there could be an issue with them, being in reality. And by being in reality, I mean them actually making sense of like the world's demands, the world, what they need to do. So sometimes a lot of them, like, they can come across as like they don't care, or they're not putting their full effort into something, but it's not that they don't care, it's just that it's not fitting what they truly feel inside. They can often feel quite alone sometimes. Pisces children can feel alone because they have these really intense feelings and ideas, and they know that a lot of their ideas are either way more advanced than their age, or that these ideas are not really widely talked about or accepted in society. Okay, and so a lot of Pisces children, kind of hide some things, or they just feel very alone. They can feel like no one understands them. And so, I think sometimes when they're expressing things to you, it's good to not kind of negate how they feel. Respond, listen to them because they are sensitive. And so I think a lot of times people who are reserved, or people who don't say a lot, or people who aren't as vocal about things, I mean, there's usually because there's a sensitivity, right? There's a reason why they're doing that. And you don't want to shut them down because Pisces children, Pisces energy people, they can contribute so much to the world. Nobody wants things to just be the same. These children can be very visionary. Okay. And so they can be very creative. They know how to tap into the universal, the collective consciousness, and like make sense of things and connect things to people. And obviously as a child, there's a lot of things you just don't understand in general. And so by, letting them be them, yes, they have to get out of their fantasy world. Yes, they have to start daydreaming, right? But like I said, anybody with 12th house placements, that daydreaming is not just a Pisces thing. You have Mercury, 12th house, Sun, 12th house, anything. Daydreaming can be a big part of your life. Mars, but definitely Mercury or the Sun. So, you definitely want to validate the Pisces child, You don't want them to go into escapism. Now, the danger of Pisces energy, now this is not necessarily children, hopefully. A lot of Pisces, not a lot, but Pisces, if they feel that they're not listened to, if Pisces is not allowed an outlet, can go into escapism, because remember, it's ruled by Neptune. And the negative side of escapism is like substance abuse or things of that nature. So you want to, when you're nurturing a Pisces child, you want to make sure that they feel validated. If they're good at something, tell them they're good at it. Give them avenues to express themselves. You do have to teach them how to navigate the world. You do have to help them understand that life has rules. You can't just stay in your own daydream. You can't just stay in your own world. Yeah, you might want to draw all day, but you have to do this, and that too. And so part of your job as a parent, or, you know, if you're a caregiver of a child, is like, do teach them ways to navigate the world. Teach them how to live in reality, because so many of them don't, you know, they don't, I don't want to say they don't, but like, it's almost like they do the opposite of what is expected sometimes. And you're just like, what's going on? It's because in their, like, they're not interpreting it the way you are. You know, they kind of, a lot of them have just very dreamy aspect to them, right? The way that they see things is almost like some things are just viewed as like this artistic thing, right? Also, one of the things, like, a lot of them are very artistic. I know that for sure. But another thing you don't want to do is like, they're very sensitive. And so their opposite sign is Virgo. So Virgo, if you insult Virgos, what Virgo did, their work ethic, they're going to view that as you're basically putting down how much work they put into something. And that's going to make them feel very upset. Now, with Pisces, what they do is a work of art. It is creative. If they draw a masterpiece, if they write, I knew a Pisces student, he wrote beautiful, like, short stories. If you insult their work. Now, it's one thing to give feedback. You do want to learn how to give the Pisces feedback, because remember, the Pisces need to learn how to live in the real world. They need to learn how to navigate the real world in order to be truly successful, not just live in their own world. But you want to be very careful with how you give them criticism. Whereas the Capricorn kid might be able to deal with criticism a little bit better, you know, or the Aries kid who's just going to keep doing whatever they need to do regardless. You want to make sure you're not putting them down. They are more sensitive. And so when you're giving them feedback or you're telling them how they did at something, you want to make sure that you're not, you know, putting down how much effort they put into something. You don't want to shut down their creativity. Pisces needs that creativity. Pisces needs that outlet. They really need it. And so a lot of times you can get mad if they're, you know, daydreaming or drawing or creating something instead of doing what you want them to do, washing the dishes or doing their homework or reading or writing, whatever it is. But at the same time, you have to understand that this energy, like, they need that outlet to feel, you know, comfortable with who they are. Okay. And so, you know, that's basically the Pisces child. Again, I would look at the whole child's chart, because it could be a Pisces with a lot of earth in their chart. Well, then there's a difference there. There's going to be a difference in the way this person, evolves. It's going to be a difference in the way this person, you know, interacts. But it's, you know, Pisces children have a lot in common, you know, a lot in common. So hopefully you like this video. Please hit the like button if you did. Thanks for watching.